There are three main pillars of the Symple Wellness Lighten Up, Tighten Up program, but one main goal. And the one main goal is to feel better. So the three pillars that would support that goal are following an elimination diet and anti-inflammatory diet. So you can imagine the main things that would need to be eliminated for most of us in order to achieve an anti-inflammatory diet. So I tend to go with gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, and alcohol-free. So this could be ideally for a window of 30 days. Then we need to find the caloric, the second pillar, the caloric intake that would allow for a caloric deficit. So we look at what is consumed during the day and what is expended in terms of different activity levels and what the body needs to, for calorically to accomplish just getting through the day. That's called the basal metabolic rate without activity. That's just what it takes to get through the day. So if you look at a 150-pound person, you get their weight in kilograms, and so that's to divide by 2.2. So a 150-pound person is 68 kilograms. We typically use, general rule of thumb, 28 calories per kilogram. So that's going to be about a 1,900 calorie day. In order to achieve a calorie deficit that would allow for 1 pound a week of weight loss, that would need to be looking at a caloric intake of 1,400 calories. So that's just some simple math for a 150-pound person, what they would normally be consuming to stay at that weight. And then in order to lose 1 pound a week, the caloric deficit should be 500 calories, a minimum deficit a day, and then a 1,400 calorie. The third pillar of the Lighten Up, Tighten Up program is to look at the ratio of macronutrients consumed. So the three macronutrients are fat, protein, and carbohydrate. Now, we talked about the equation for making sure that you're in a caloric deficit, and you can get an online tool. Senza is one that's kind of like for more keto-focused diets. Lose It is one. There's a number of different online apps that can help you track your caloric intake and the macronutrients. I highly suggest that because it just makes this a lot easier to manage. So looking at a really good ratio to start out with is a higher fat, moderate protein, lower carbohydrate macronutrient ratio to help to normalize the hormones that make it sometimes hard to lose weight. There's something called weight loss resistance that can come about when hormones like insulin are elevated, and that is always elevated when there's a lot of added sugars in the diet and a lot of processed foods that turn to sugar really quickly. So in order to get results more quickly, looking at that macronutrient ratio and going for the higher fats, moderate protein, lower carb is a great way to kind of jumpstart things. So when you're looking at higher fat, extra virgin olive oil, fats from plant foods like avocado is great, a little bit of perhaps saturated fats from say coconut oil, and also including nuts and nut butters and seed butters in the diet. Those are great sources of fat and protein and minerals and vitamins and all kinds of things. So that is where you'd look at maybe having a higher fat content in the diet, and then moderate protein. That can be from tofu, that can be from animal proteins, that can be from different protein shakes. And then carbohydrates should be generally from leafy green vegetables, cruciferous vegetables. Really limit the grains and the starchy carbohydrates. So those are the three pillars. Looking at following an elimination diet that's helping with the anti-inflammatory diet that's bringing down inflammation, understanding how to be in a caloric deficit, and then 3, making sure that the macronutrient ratio works for you to help you jumpstart your weight loss protocol and this Lighten Up, Tighten Up protocol so that you can accomplish the main goal, which is to feel better.